Hi guys, it's another beautiful spring day and we're back here at Bountiful Blessings Farm for a weekly update. Today we're going to be showing you a lot of different crop updates, stuff that we've shown planted a few weeks ago, and show you the progress of growth. And my dad's going to be showing a lot of different things, including the most exciting thing that happens each spring on the farm, and that is the first ripe strawberries. So follow along today as we document what's going on the farm.
So this is 2-week-old lettuce planting. Our target date for it being ready to go is April 21. So I think we're on schedule with this. It's growing well. You can see down there we're having major issues with fire ants, and we're experimenting with different products, and we'll let you know when we find one we're happy with.
The magic bullet. Yeah, it's tricky for when you're trying to do it organically. But so, Sal and Evan, at this point, are you planting weekly?
Yeah, we've started. We've planted weekly for the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
And we'll continue that through the season.
Awesome. Are you gonna help drive? Looks like you've been out with the spader a little bit, huh?
Yeah. Here we've got our first direct seeded stuff. You know, again, we could have it a lot earlier, but we're trying to time it for the beginning of our CSA, and then that begins April 21, and then market starts the beginning of May. So I think we're on schedule. We've got a bed of radishes, 2 beds of arugula,
spinach?
2 beds of spinach, which we'll be doing again weekly for a while. We're gonna try to see how far we can push spinach into the summer. Because spinach, you know, if you can have it, it's good.
Sells
money.
good, yeah.
Yeah. This is the end of our winter lettuce. We're still harvesting a little Salanova and some head lettuce. But
looks like most of it's starting to bolt or get too big.
It's starting to bolt. But
so this is stuff that's been in the ground since fall.
Yeah,
right? all
late
winter.
fall. I don't know exactly when this was planted, but
okay.
Yeah, it's amazing how long it has held on here.
So right here, Dad, I see you have a fresh pile of compost that looks like it's been delivered from somewhere. Compost is something that a lot of people have questions about and seem to struggle sourcing it. So where are you getting your compost from, and what type of compost is this?
Well, I don't really want to say where we're getting it from in case there's a rush on it.
It's a limited.
No, it's
compost.
It's,
is a limited
we
resource.
have a municipality not too far from us here that composts all their leaf.
Okay, so it's mostly
leaf mold, which are leaves.
Yeah.
It turns it into leaf mold, I guess you'd say.
It looks like it's got wood shavings in it though too.
It's not supposed to. Well, I'm sure there's probably some wood chips in there, you know, but it's pretty much leaves.
So that's all it is? There's no manure or anything?
No manure. In fact, that's kind of a requirement for us because of our high phosphorus levels. So it took us a while to find this. And I would say it's a low octane compost. It's not super high nitrogen or anything, but that's fine. It's giving us some good carbon, and it's cheap. And then of course there's our own compost down there, which you know, we need to turn more, but it works. We've used a lot of our own already this year. So this is to supplement what we make on the farm, and we're happy with it.
Good.
Come, Benji. 3.
3 ripe ones?
So we're here at the strawberry field, and to give some context, this is April 1. We could have picked strawberries yesterday. I mean, there's not a lot, but actually this is a row of Ruby Junes, and they seem to be ripening earlier than the Chandlers.
There's some big ones in there.
But we have never, in our 28 seasons of strawberries, never picked strawberries in March before. So that's
Unprecedented.
unprecedented. It makes you wonder whether climate change is a real thing.
Climate change is a real thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, any farmer knows it's a real thing. But yeah, so the challenge is, again, our markets don't start till for another 3 weeks. So we're going to be
I will
having
eat them for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're going to be having lots of strawberries before 3 weeks.
I'm pretty sure you can find people that will buy them.
This is our kale house. We've got one bed of collards there, but the rest is kale. Kale is a big enough crop for us that it's worth growing in tunnels. And we're trying to get the houses totally screened so that we don't have to be spraying dipel for the caterpillars. So that'll make it a lot easier.
You're gonna have to screen your vents, your louvers and stuff, right?
Yeah, well, that's the last part that hasn't been screened.
Okay.
So
That is a lot of kale, but it's looking beautiful.
yeah,
and you've got
it'll definitely be ready to harvest in a couple weeks.
You've got all of it in quick plant fabric, so
yeah,
very little maintenance with drip irrigation. You have drip and overhead. Which are you using most?
I mean, we like to kind of settle the plants in with overhead,
Okay.
but we've switched to drip now
Okay.
to keep any black rot or disease off of them.
Looks
But
beautiful.
this should go till fall. I mean, it will go all winter, but we've decided it's better to plant the second crop in the fall. And there's the tomatoes. So we've got cherry tomatoes getting very close to ripe down there.
So you're doing your double leader. Remember we talked about that a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And at this point of growth, are you suckering and trellising every week or
Yeah.
about every week?
Yeah, they need it every week.
Okay. You can see the crops, interplanted crops in between.
Yeah, Joshua just harvested
I harvested some of the lettuce
this morning. I'm trying to remember how many pounds he said it was. I think 75 pounds.
Yeah.
Of mini heads. So the next thing we need to do today to get ready to plant our peppers is to spray the soil. We're really trying to be diligent with our AEA program, and that includes a soil primer. And it's largely, well, I'd have to look at the labels, but I know it's got fish emulsion in it. It's got molasses. It's got a microbiological inoculant called Spectrum in there. So the idea is to spray it on your soil and make sure the soil has what it needs to encourage good bacterial life.
Okay. So is that this AEA protocol that you guys are doing? Is everything tailored and kind of catered to your soil tests and stuff like that, or is this more of just a generic protocol?
I mean, what we're using is a fairly generic protocol. The thing I love about AEA is that I can read all the labels.
Okay.
You know, a lot of stuff has proprietary contents, or it's got stuff you've never heard of before. But AEA is all, you know, I know what everything is that I'm spraying.
Yeah.
I just don't always remember it
From memory, yeah.
on camera. But
So talk about the sprayer a little bit.
yeah, so you know, we've gone through a number of sprayers over the years, but I'll have to say this is my favorite. You know, there's a place for a backpack sprayer, a pump sprayer, or
Yeah.
you know, they've got battery powered ones now. In my mind, the best place for those is like in your starts house. But if you're spraying a lot of material and you're trying to get it done fast, there's nothing like a mist blower. And so that's what this is. It's basically, I mean, it's very similar to a leaf blower,
Yeah.
but it has a tank on it, and it's got a, you know, a hose that comes down, and the hose just, you know, pours your mixture right into the front of this leaf blower.
Yeah.
So it creates a fine mist, and yeah, it's just so much faster than a standard backpack sprayer.
This is, what is this technically called?
A
mean, is
mist blower.
So mist blower versus a sprayer. I mean, the sprayer is just doing a fine mist of spray, whereas this is blowing high volumes of air mixed with spray. So if you're doing something like foliar spraying especially, this is turning the leaves and flipping everything and really doing a much better job of getting that, that spray
full
everywhere,
coverage.
getting full coverage,
for
whereas
sure.
a sprayer is just gonna get, you know, the top layers.
And you know, that's really helpful if you have issues with something like aphids, which are usually underneath the leaves.
Yeah.
And it's very, very hard to get good coverage under the leaves with just a standard backpack sprayer. So the steel, this is our second steel, only because somebody put straight gas in the first one and blew the engine. But this is a steel SR 430, which is a model that I would highly recommend. There's also SR 450, I think it is, which the only difference is that one can spray like granule kind of stuff. I mean, we never did that. So
Okay.
And one advantage of this is it sprays when it's elevated, so it's a little bit pressurized, like, whereas the other one, the 450, didn't do that.
Strictly gravity.
So I definitely recommend this. Like I say, we've never had a bit of problem. We had a solo sprayer, which
That one gave a lot of trouble.
yeah, hopefully we just had a lemon, but we had constant issues with that. You know, and just I guess it's a European thing or something where you have an O, a zero, and a line. You know, and I could never figure out which was on and which was off.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's just, I don't know if I'm just
Label
slow
it.
or what, but it's like, is the O, is that on or off?
Yeah.
Is the line, you know, I don't know. Do you know what it is?
Not off the top of my head.
It
I would
was
assume
frustrating.
off would be with the line through it, but I don't know. But yeah, so Steel's a good reputable brand. This is probably not a product that your local steel supplier is gonna like have in stock.
Probably not.
But any steel dealer should be able to order it, or you can probably just order it online from, I don't know. But yeah, that's the steel. So let's go show it in use, and then I'm sure later in the summer at some point we'll be able to document using it for actual leaf foliar spraying.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've already
cool to
started doing that with strawberries.
Okay.
But right now we're just trying to prepare. We've got peppers in here that are
Trying to get peppers in the ground.
yeah, well past their time to get them in.
Well,
So
let's go do it.
Okay. So this is our pepper house. We've been trying to get it finished up here, but
A
we
brand new
can't
high
wait
tunnel.
any longer. Yeah, this is a new high tunnel replacing a smaller, older high tunnel. So yeah, we can't wait any longer, and there's no frosts in the forecast, so we're gonna go ahead and plant even before we get the plastic on it.
Okay.
So
you're doing the soil primer, and
we're doing the soil primer, and this starts up first time.
How it's been sitting since?
Hopefully.
How long has it been sitting? Watch out, Benji.
Since last week. There you go, steel. It's really helpful to have this elevated because, you know, it's pretty heavy when you've got 4 gallons of water plus the weight of this. So it works really well to sit on the back of this, and you just once that's sprayed on here, and I'll probably end up going over it twice, you know, with the amount of stuff I have, then you want to work it in lightly, ideally. So we will run over these beds with the tilther,
okay,
just to work it in a little bit, and then water it, give it a good watering to soak in and really kind of activate the soil primer. So yeah, we were hoping to get the peppers in today, but I think realistically it's going to be tomorrow at this point. But I just want to mention this. I mean, it's too early to have an opinion yet, but we have, you know, some people use wooden stakes as bed markers. We didn't want to do that because in our climate, you know, we've got termites and they're not going to last long. We've had, and I'm sure people have seen them on videos, we have had rebar stakes that we covered with CPVC.
Yeah, like
no, not CPVC.
Half-inch PVC.
What's the PVC electrical conduit?
Oh,
Um,
EMT? No, that's metal.
yeah, what's it called? Anyway, the gray PVC.
Yeah.
And then we put just 1/2-inch caps on them.
Yep.
But we were never, I mean, it worked pretty well, but we were always having row covers and shade netting and everything catching on those and pulling the PVC off and then tearing on the rebar.
Yep.
So we read about this in Growing for Market magazine, using these, I think they're called survey whiskers, and just a spike as our bed markers. So these you're not going to trip over. You know, you can see them easily. And then we're thinking that the way it'll work is if we need to string a bed, we can just pull it up. You know, right now this soil is soft because it's been spaded, but it'll harden up again. And I don't know, we'll see how it works, but we're hoping it's going to be an improvement over what we have been using. This is a reciprocating spader. We've had it since 2002, so it's given us a lot of years of use. We haven't used it much in the last few years. We've really moved away from tillage a lot, but we're averaging about once every 4 years we're tilling. It's helpful in certain situations. So yeah, it's supposed to be better on the soil than a standard rototiller. You know, it's doing this kind of thing, like individual spades, and it flips it up.
Yeah, it doesn't have tines that are just going around in circles. It's going.
Yeah, it's not beating the
spading.
soil up.
Yeah.
So again, you know, we use it occasionally. And I felt like we needed to use it this spring on this plot.
You were saying that part of the reason for that was because a lot of this soil was not worked last year. It was
we just cover cropped it because a lot of the farm was resting last year. We took a sabbatical, and so when you haven't really I don't know, we didn't cover crop as heavily as I wanted to, because we weren't around as much. And so
it just got a little compacted. You're just loosening it back up and trying to get that deeper aeration.
Yeah.
Because this goes pretty deep too. Like you can get at least a solid foot or 16 inches, can't you?
Yeah, a good foot. These spades are wearing down. They need to be replaced.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, this machine has taken a lot of wear and tear. I just bent it up yesterday on this because we found a concrete, from one of the posts that hadn't gotten out. And anyway, but it's Elliot Coleman always said he said in his book that he was gonna replace his rototiller with one of these when his rototiller wore out. But I guess his rototiller never wore out or something. Cause
yeah, these are pretty expensive though, right? So
they are.
It's not something that. Well, let's just put it this way: if you didn't have this, would you buy it at this point?
That's a hard one. Because we are moving away from tillage to a large degree.
Yeah.
But to have something as a backup in case one of your ideas fails, it's nice to be able to kind of have a fresh start sometimes. I mean, I definitely would rather use this than just a standard rototiller.
Yeah.
Especially on our soil since we're kind of high clay.
Cool. It certainly does a nice job, but minimal tillage is ideal. For those that maybe aren't familiar with a no-till concept, what's the primary reason for that?
Well, I would say the primary reason is because tillage is not really natural, and it disturbs, just imagine you're a little soil microorganism.
Or an earthworm or something,
It's pretty earth-shattering.
Catastrophic event.
Literally. So, just trying to be as easy on the soil as possible. Although it is interesting, in Elliot Coleman's latest book, The Self-Fed Farm, he kind of makes an appeal to those who have totally sworn off tillage, that maybe that's a little bit extreme. And he thinks there's a place for responsible tillage.
Sure. Okay, well, that's cool to see what's going on the farm. Thanks for giving an update on a lot of different crops. I think we'll go ahead and call it a wrap for today. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Drop any comments down below, and if you have questions, we'll try to address them. If not directly in the comments, we can maybe talk about it in a future video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. And until next time, happy growing.